Ladies and gentlemen, our keys to victory. Yeah, buddy. Our keys to victory. Number one is going to be what we did last game. Last game, I told you we held them 62 yards on the ground. We know how dominant that rushing game is. A year ago, it led the league in rushing, and it's been pretty potent this year as well. Miles Sanders, you talked about, is having a comeback year. Jalen Hurts is pretty solid. And then you have Gainwell and Scott out there as well, also getting some carries. So, honestly, our key has got to be shut down the running game. That running game definitely opens things up everywhere else. Now, I understand last game we got torched. We got splash played. They went deep on us a lot. And a lot of that, I think, or at least I'm hoping, was the miscommunication in our secondary that hopefully we have fixed. That running game is their life. That is their bread and butter. We shut down that running game. I think that we can seriously halt that offense. So that is one of my keys to victory.
You pretty much took all my talking points for my first key too, and it was make Hurts beat us throwing, and I had this in the first game as well, and he sure did beat us throwing. But just like you said, I feel like our defensive secondary, our back, they're playing a whole lot better than they were before. St. Juice on AJ Brown, to try and contain him a little bit. I don't think we're going to shut him down, but maybe we can contain him. Maybe if we can prevent just some of the, they got away with some huge plays out there, long throws to him that they just, huge chunk plays that they would get down the field. And in some of those touchdowns where it's like, Hurts was just like, I'm not scared of y'all. Here, I'm just going to throw it up to my receiver. So maybe taking off some of that practice with Jefferson from last week will give him a chance to learn how to play on some elite wide receivers like that. So we just got to try and make Jalen Hurts beat us by throwing the ball. We got to contain him. I think we need to go with the whole idea of we don't need to blitz a whole lot. We need to go with our 4 linemen to keep him in the pocket. Don't allow that running game like you talked about from the running backs and him to torch us the way Justin Fields did. That's the recipe we don't want. Keep him in the pocket, make him throw the ball. And while he did it to us one time, I'd rather see if we can, stop him, through the pass.
Yep. My second key to victory, I'm going to stay right here on the defense. Jamin Davis has to have a huge game. He had a huge game. He had a big game last game where he was able to kind of just stop Jalen Hurts from getting around the corner. A lot of this is going to, be big in the running game, but he needs to have an impactful game where he gets a sack, where he potentially gets interception or a forced fumble or recovered fumble or something of that nature where he is just flying around. He's been really playing a lot better. I wouldn't call it the meteoric rise that one Will Kramer predicted or said he should have this year. But honestly, I think you'd have to be blind to not see that he's doing a lot better this year. He seems more comfortable, and it seems like he's kind of he's not afraid anymore. He's not thinking so much. He's just reacting. He's reading and reacting and playing very well. I think he's going to have, and from both of our linebackers, we're going to have to have a big game from them because I think they are going to be tested a lot.
Is Holcomb going to be back?
I don't think so. That's why I was leaning toward Jamin Davis, but I will see. I don't think he will.
Gotcha. That helps me because I'm going to pick 2 players in for. I'm going to stick with the defense as well and go with your theme of picking a guy who needs to step up and pick 2. Mm-hmm. Kendall Fuller. Mm-hmm. He needs to have a bounce back game against Philly during the last one because he's the one that was getting torched. By AJ Brown. And at first I remember saying, well, no, he's having good coverage when I saw it live, and no, he wasn't. He played. You were absolutely right. He was getting torched out there by Philly's wide receivers. So Fuller needs to have a bounce back game because, like I said, if Benjamin St. Juice has kind of shown that he can man up somebody and stick with them, then they're going to throw to whoever Fuller's covering, whether that's AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. So he's going to have to be playing much better. And then along with that, the other guy on defense is we need to have the continued, steady, consistent, great play that we're getting from Cam Curl.
Yep.
Because Dallas Goedert is becoming much more of a weapon in their offense. He's getting featured a whole lot more. And if we're not sure about Holcomb, and we don't really want Jamin Davis to be covering a tight end, someone's got to do it. And Cam Curl, while Holcomb has come out, has been coming down in that Buffalo nickel role. They actually, the way they announced the team last week is they said 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and they included Cam Curl in it, and then they did our secondary all together. So we need Curl to be that type of player that's checking Goddard, staying with him, and then also just flying around and making sure if he's spying on Hurts, again, that Hurts is being in the pocket.
Yeah. Absolutely. Going to offense, for me, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson, we've seen is solid, and he's getting more touches in the running game, and it seems a lot more confident in the running game. We know how lethal he is in the passing game, catching the ball out of the backfield. And then we've also got him starting to play a lot more in kick return. From what I've seen and from following, Gibson through the last couple of years, the more solid plays you get for him, the more plays where he's having a successful return, 4 or 5 yards, 6, 7 yards, maybe busting out for 10, 11, whatever, he gets confident. And the more confident he gets, the more lethal he becomes. We've seen late in the game where he gets that kick return, he brings us back to almost midfield, and all of a sudden, now we're starting to flip the field. With him in the passing game, I mean, his emergence in the passing game has almost totally blanked McKissic. You know what I mean? Like, McKissick's role has definitely shrunk, in my opinion, with Samuel and definitely Gibson coming out. Gibson has to have a big game all the way around, catching, running, and in the special teams. And if that happens, I mean, I can totally see him having a big game. And if that happens, honestly, I think that's gonna help us out. That's gonna help us out a great deal.
So sticking with offense there, I'm going to say we need to take what was successful in the last game and run with it. And that is utilizing the pass to set up the run to move the chains. We need to have a ball control type game. I think that was Jay saying this, how we need to be running the ball. And the idea is we can't be giving Philly the ball with a bunch of times with all these weapons.
Exactly.
Part of the reason we also got beat out there in the first game is they went down the field and scored a touchdown. Then we got the ball in 3 plays and we punted. And our defense was back out there. Then they went down and scored a touchdown. Now it's 14-0. And we went out there 3 plays and punted the ball. Then they went – so our defense had no chance to rest. And then their defense was just fired up because they wanted to play 3 snaps. And then they waited a while and played 3 snaps. And they were flying everywhere. So we need to – Scott Turner, this is on you. Taylor Heineke, execute this game plan. We need to have the passing game to open up the chances for the run. I think we're going to need to see a few more, not necessarily trick plays, but other folks involved in the run game, not just Gibson and Robinson, utilizing Samuel. If Terry gets one of those sweeps to run, if you give it to Rodgers again, we're going to need to do some things to be creative to allow that running game to go in. But we've got to be able to play some ball control if we're going to have a chance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jaron saying, y'all did a decent job limiting quarterback runs in the first game. It's the wide receiver and tight ends y'all need to worry about. Yep. Absolutely. Goddard had a touchdown, had a big game. Devonta Smith went off. A.J. Brown had a touchdown. That's going to be it, limiting those deep balls. We said, y'all need to defer to the second half on the coin toss. Yeah. And I mean, hey, look, you're absolutely right. It's going to take some stuff like that. At the end of the day, number one thing that we have to do is win the turnover battle. We have got to steal some possessions from them. I mean, bottom line, like you said, they went down that second quarter, went down the field, scored, got it with 3 and out, went down the field. You know what I mean? We have got to steal some possessions because if we can steal some possessions, flip some momentum, get us on the field, and then capitalize on that, even if it's just a field goal, we need to be able to do that to then maybe make them not necessarily have fear, but at least think twice about it. You know, after those first couple drives, you can tell. I mean, and matter of fact, shout out to Anton. Anton was saying the whole time Anton was at the game. He's saying he would throw a pass, and then Hurst would just kind of Conor McGregor it down the field, just like there was no fear. He was not worried about our defense, and we need to put that fear in him. What we talked about, what we did last week, what we've been doing. Ellinger was on his back. Kirk Cousins was on his back. Justin Fields was on his back. Rodgers. We have our D-line and our defense has been coming alive, and we need to continue that. We need to start putting Hurts on his back in this game and really shut that down, and we need to cause some turnovers, be it interceptions, fumbles, whatever. We definitely need to create some turnovers and steal some opportunities, steal some possessions from them because that's going to be huge. Because like you said, keeping our defense on the field for long periods of time, I mean, forever good they've become and have they been, you can't stay on the field for that long. You just don't have the energy for that. So,
right.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.